This is a 10-minute run through of something that can take weeks, but basically we want to start with classifying data. So we're no longer just looking at data in terms of its technical setup, how many gigabytes is it, what are the relationships between entities. We're starting to look at more of the business meaning and the origins of that data. Customers are creating huge amounts of data through every touch point interaction, use of mobile apps, filling in surveys, browsing the web, interacting with our marketing campaigns, buying things from us. All of that we can classify into broadly three types of data. Firstly, we have declared data. That is data that is directly given to us by the data subject themselves, your traditional first-party data. And of course, you need the capability to store that and unify that and spot gaps around the data you have around a particular customer and maybe enrich that. Then we have our observed data. Observed data is the data that a customer generates through their behaviors and interactions. So some of it is traditional, quite well structured data like transactions, somebody's bought something from us. Some of it is still structured, but heading towards more big data just because of the volume and velocity of that data, like web analytics or app analytics. The page views, mouse overs, scroll times, session data like session start times, geolocation, can be quite a lot of data, but it's still relatively structured. Then we move to unstructured or semi-structured data that's still observational, things like chat logs, survey feedback, voice transcripts. Until you've parsed that in some way, maybe sentiment analysis, it's at best semi-structured. Then we have the third type of data, the inferred data. And that's basically the result of processing and analysing the vast amount of declared and observed data that we have to create a new actionable data point. So that might be, calculating customer lifetime value or predicting next best action or, inferring sentiment from chat logs. Those are all inferred data points. When you've classified the data, we start to need to look at how much of each type of data do you have, where is it being captured, where is it being stored, and where is it being used. When you have the answers to those questions, we have a relatively simple way to prioritize which data projects are going to deliver the most value fastest. So we look at, first of all, do we have data, typically declared data or observed data, siloed in multiple different repositories? Have we got the capability to link that together and have a true unified 360 view of a customer using all of the data that we're capturing? If the answer is no, the project that's going to deliver most value is a CDP, a customer data platform. If we're able to tick that box and say, yes, we can do that, we can start looking at, are we using that declared and observed data to effectively and efficiently target our customers? If we're not, we want to start looking at segmentation projects and projects to personalize customer communications using the data that we have. If we're successfully doing that already, the next question to ask ourselves is, are we using the signals, particularly simple signals or triggers that are available in our observed data? So a simple example of this, if a customer makes a purchase transaction, we immediately send them an order confirmation. That's something that's triggered by a signal in the observed data. But there's a bunch of other signals that may be going unused. Somebody abandons a basket. Are we sending them an abandoned basket confirmation? Somebody logs into the mobile app for the first time. Are we going to send them a guide? They haven't logged in for a while. Are we going to send them a "we missed you"? There's tons and tons of signals in this observed data that we don't really need much in the way of complex inferences to start driving a lot of value from that observed data. But if we're doing all of that and we're doing it successfully, we can start look at creating actionable insights from those observed, the observational data. We're talking huge amounts of complex data where some of the correlations, the patterns are not immediately intuitive. So particularly in Azure, we've got an enormous range of very, very advanced AI and machine learning techniques that are available to us to start creating actionable inferences from that vast amount of of behavioral data. You know, simple things like, oh, this person is struggling on the website, or oh, this person is a value-driven buyer, oh, this person is interested in this particular product family. You know, incredibly insightful, actionable data points that can be automatically derived from the observed data. And at Edit, that's what we've done for some household brands. We've worked with Tesco Bank to use their data to reduce cost per acquisition by 7.5%. We had a great project with Southern Co-op where we used their data to generate an 18% increase in visitor frequency for a key segment. Working with Guide Dogs on a data-driven acquisition project, we generated a 10 times higher campaign response rate than their baseline. With Shell, we've driven $9 million incremental revenue from CRM activity. And with Jaguar Land Rover, we've implemented transformational data-driven CRM, which means their CRM activity now accounts for 47% of new vehicle purchases. Well, how do we do that? We do that with 3 core pillars underpinned by a firm belief in a privacy-first strategy. And we genuinely see customers that adopt a privacy-first strategy benefit from a privacy dividend. But when you have adopted that privacy-first strategy, you can use intelligent data, marketing technology, and transformational CRM to unlock new value from the data that you've migrated into your Azure cloud.